Hello and welcome to the Pet Healer Podcast. This is your host, Dr. Mitzi Vargas, and today we are on the third part of our respiratory series because we are obviously talking about that respiratory virus that have been going on since October, and it continues to move throughout the states in the United States, and it's just affecting a lot of our dogs, and they are having coughs that last up to 8 weeks, and many of the patients are not doing so well and ending up with pneumonia, and multiple antibiotics have been treated and they been used, and they are not really sure which one is better. Well, I'll tell you, sometimes holistic alternative could be very much help, especially for those that are elderly. Now, one of the things that I did not mention in the previous parts is that what the early views are is to have the vaccination of dog flu, the one that does the 2 strains, and Bordetella up to date. And the reason is these vaccinated animals seem to recover in a shorter period of time, and the symptoms appear to be minimal as compared to the ones that had never had the dog flu vaccine or that never had the Bordetella vaccine. So I am an integrative practitioner. I don't believe in over-vaccination, but I do believe in vaccinating when the risk is out there. Right now, that would be my advice. If your pet is up to date in the flu vaccine or the kennel cough vaccine, then you have a pretty good chance. And you can probably just do TCVM and get away without having to go through it. So today we're just going to focus, before we talked about the antiviral herbs and then the expectorant herbs. And then this group of herbs that is very special to me is the immunostimulant herbs, because they play a big role in stimulating the immune system and protecting not just of any respiratory disease, but any other diseases. And so these herbs are known for humans as well. And the first one is echinacea. And I know you know echinacea. There's echinacea purpura, is well known, is used for centuries to help immune system. Is in drops, is in sprays, and a lot of things, right? And it contains compounds like polysaccharides and alkamides. And these have been studied and shown that they really enhance the immune function because they stimulate the production of white blood cells. And white blood cells are the ones that fight infections. Echinacea root has been used in multiple preparations for humans and proven to reduce the severity of the colds and the flu and other respiratory infections. Can we do echinacea? Absolutely. So echinacea is found in powder. You can add the powder to the food in your pets. Echinacea liquid drops. There's a lot of things that echinacea can come capsules. Probably the capsule will be the most effective one, I would say. And you can just do echinacea at the same rate as humans, because again, it is not a dose dependent. In my opinion, in these herbs, they're pretty safe, and you can just do a certain dose, like a human dose, and then see how you can adapt it to your pet. If you have a really small pet, then half human dose or a third, and then just look at how are your symptoms, how are you doing, and then you can kind of titrate from there. But echinacea is really, as a preventative, really good. But also, if you already have the upper respiratory, then echinacea might shorten the time, the duration of the symptoms. Eucalyptus is another one that is very famous, right? The alcohol is made out of eucalyptus, the rubbing alcohol. And it is, I remember as growing up, that's when you got a cough, you get rubbing alcohol. And it was eucalyptus herbs inside of the bottle. And so it is a very powerful immunostimulant herb. And the antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory properties are usually due to the compounds called eucalyptol. It actually supports the respiratory health, and that's why it's used in Vicks vapor rubs and all of those vaporizers. So you can put eucalyptus oil as a, you know, just an essential oil, and you could use eucalyptus and put it in with vaporizer and for people. But for dogs and cats, eucalyptus is a little irritant to the tract. And so I would probably do very little of this. If you can find it in the herb, the leaves, I would probably do that instead of the oil. The oil is just too much. The next one is garlic, Allium sativum. Garlic is super potent for immunostimulant. I love it for cooking. I think it's great. It has a lot of medicinal properties, and they're due to allicin. And that compound allicin has been studied and found that it has antimicrobial and immune boosting properties. And I have mentioned it before, garlic can enhance the immune system of your dogs and cats, fight off infections, and reduce the severity of the colds and teeth infections. Now, too much garlic in dogs and cats is poisonous, but one clove, one little piece of garlic a day can keep a lot of the bad things away. And so what I tell people is to take the one garlic piece and put a garlic press and express it, and take the oil, the juice out of the garlic, and put it in the food on their dogs. And don't cook it raw. That's where it's most powerful. Ginseng. Ginseng is revered. It's one of the traditional Chinese medicine treasures of China because it has so many uses. But one of them is an immune stimulant compound called ginesides, and they have been studied and shown that it increases the production of immune cells. And so you see ginseng up as a drink, ginseng as to pick me up, like for energy and for overall like fatigue and well-being. But it really has increases your immune system, which means that it can be as a prevention. So ginseng is in herbs. You can go to Oriental market and get it. It's in herbal formula, or you can buy the capsules and just open it up and use a part of in the food. Marshmallow, Althea officinalis, also does immune system stimulant. And I mention it because it was an expectorant herb, but it also, because it has mucilage, that's why it breaks down the mucus. But it's actually really good to promote overall well-being. Isaris root. Isaris root is incredible in Chinese medicine. Isaris tinctoria is the name. It is an immune booster. It really is. It contains indirubin, which is being studied and determined that it inhibits the replication of viruses. So it cuts down. The virus cannot replicate when you're doing Isaris root. It increases your immune function, and it decreases and reduces the severity of viral infections in people. It can do this in dogs too. So I have one of the colleagues that is using his large animal and has been seeing incredible results. Adding it to the feed of the large animals is a lot easier. And Usnea lichen is an immune stimulant, immune booster. It has usnic acid, and that has lichen, lichen has been known that it can prevent pneumonia and respiratory infections. So I think it's a very good option to try. Myrrh is, I had a whole episode on myrrh because I really believe in myrrh. Is a great anti-inflammatory, and it really promotes the immune health and the overall well-being, and it inhibits the growth of bacteria and fungi. So it's a good one to add. It comes in an oil too, but I don't recommend the oil. Ginger root. Ginger root, again, ginger, everybody knows that ginger is great for the GI tract. It has a descending ability, the ability to make the energy to descend, and is great also for respiratory infections to prevent the flu, the cold. So there's one component called gingerol, and it's the one that enhances the immune function and reduces inflammation. It's super versatile, ginger. It does a lot of, it has so many good effects, and it's so easy to just do ginger. Of course, you can go to the spice section and buy the ginger, dry ginger in powder, and you can add it to the dog's diet. You can buy the root in the fresh section, and obviously the fresh root of ginger, when you just take a couple pieces out of it, is definitely just great in a grater. Is actually more powerful. Is fresh, but it also is very aromatic, and sometimes the dogs are not gonna like to eat it. It's a little bit spicy as well. So maybe the dry will be a better option, but it's an easy thing to just add to your pet's diet. So again, consult your veterinarian if you think that your pet is having other medication and you want to know if there's any interactions. But these are pretty safe herbs that enhance the immune system, and I hope that you can use it for yourself and for your pets. And we will conclude this series with talking about influenza, just a good review on canine influenza. So stay tuned, and until then, stay well.